Hello, my name is Eduardo, and today I am here with a new tutorial for App Inventor or Appybuilder or Thunkable. Okay, any of these kind of servers based on App Inventor you can use. Okay, well, we're going to start, and today we're going to start making this simple calculator. Okay, this tutorial is about making a simple calculator. Okay, it only makes the addition. Okay, so in this case it is not subtracting, not dividing anything. Okay, just I'm going to show you how to make this. So this is how this thing works. 12 plus 7 equals 19. So if you check here, we have a button to erase, then we have the numbers, we have the equals, the plus, and then you have here, for example, 23 plus, and then we have here 2, we are passing this value here just to see, plus 4, plus, then we have this value, okay, that is a previous result, and then you have equals, 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 nothing happens. Okay, so that's it. 37 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 equals 49 plus 1, 50. That's it. Pretty simple. Okay, and it's a very useful tutorial because when we make calculators, okay, we have to think many things. Okay, it's a very good exercise to practice your abilities in Appybuilder or AppInventor or Thunkable. Yes, okay, it is not very difficult, the tutorial, but the idea is just to try to check how to create the conditions and everything. Okay, but let's start with the tutorial. So for this tutorial we have this, okay, we have this layout. So to save some time, because I have spent a lot of time just like with this introduction, I'm going to share with you just the initial file or the working source file to work or to follow this tutorial. Okay, it is just with the layout, so ready to start working. So well, so let's go to this project, and it is working file. I'm going to save this just for me to work. Working file 2. Oh, let's see, teacher, and you are students, right? Well, so now we're going to have this file and we're going to start like modifying. So you have the horizontal arrangement, you have the buttons, you have so 2 labels here. So label 2, that it's like the one that it's like holding this result. So pre-result, I don't know how to say that in English, but well. And then you have this one that it's like showing you the current values. Okay, so let's call it current results, and that's it. So everything it is okay here with names. Okay, so you have button 01, it is button 1, and then you have here equals button, you have add button, and then you have CLR button. So let's start with the blocks. Well, for this part we're going to start and we're going to start creating the procedures. Okay, remember, procedures are really convenient when you start working in App Inventor or Appybuilder. Well, the first thing that we're going to create, it is a procedure to add numbers to the screen. So let's bring this thing here. Let's make companion smaller, just for you to see everything that it's how it's happening here. So well, we have this, and then just let me reduce this thing a little bit, and that's it. Okay, so you have the numbers over there. When I click, nothing happens, so you just have this simple layout of the calculator. So let's start adding things. Just let me move this guy. Okay, The first thing, as I told you, it is to create a procedure. So we create procedures, okay, that are a set of instructions. So, and we're going to create the procedure for add number or digit. Okay, so add digit procedure. Now this is going to add a number to the screen here every time we press one of these buttons. So let's do it. So the idea here, it is basically to add here in this label, that is the current results, the text. We're going to set this text. Oh, the volume is a little high. I was listening to music, sorry. And then we're going to have join. And then in join, we're going to connect or join the current value that we have in this label, if we have any. And we're going to connect it with a digit. Every button, it will print or write a different digit. Okay, so if you click on button 1, we want to have the number 1. Okay, so that's why we insert this like kind of variable, and we're going to call it digit. That's it, and then we're going to drag it over here to the procedure. So, and then we're going to use this procedure in all our buttons. Let's drag here procedures and button events or click events on the left side. It's very important to have everything organized, because if not, sometimes you get lost. So especially when you start like having mistakes or errors. So we go to procedures on the left side of your Appybuilder, and then we're going to drag this procedure that we just created. When we press the button 1, we want to add, you have this slot that we created here. We want to add to the current label this digit. The digit for button number 1, it will be number 1. And that's it. Now let's see if we press this, what's going to happen. That's okay. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now if you check, this 0 looks awful over there. We can fix that, okay, if we go to math, and then we are going to drag, in this case, round. We are going to insert round here, and now we go here, and then we click 1, 1, 1, and it's just remove this ugly 0. Now, what about for the other buttons? Well, it's as I told you, the same. We are going to duplicate this one. You have an error, just change here from the drop down menu to, and then you just change to number 2. Then we're going to do the same for number 3, 4, 5. I'm going to try to make it fast. 5. This is 5. This is 4. Then we just duplicate this guy. This is 6. Remember, to duplicate, you just can select with the right mouse button, duplicate from this menu, and then you just change here to 7. Or you can just select it and Control C, Control V, and that's it. Okay, as you prefer. You have number 8, and that's why you have always good naming for your buttons. Okay, number 9, so it's easier to have everything if you are organized since the very beginning. Now for the 0, we're going to do the same, and we're going to add a 0, and that's it. We have the numbers. Now let's try it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So we have the numbers. Now, after we did this thing, we need to start thinking about the procedure to add, okay, to make the addition. Well, to do that, we're going to create another procedure. So that's why we go to design, we go to procedures, we create a procedure, and we just name it add procedure. Now we're going to create here a condition. The condition is this one. Check if, okay, what? For this we have the values, okay, this value. We want to move this value, okay? That is now like dancing, but don't pay attention to this. So we want to move this thing, okay? How? Well, we need to create our first variable, and this variable, okay, let's drag variables here. The name of this variable, it will be final result, and we're going to set it to 0, and also we're going to create a temporary value. Temporary is something that is not like the final result, okay? So when we press equals, so it's for example, if we just click 3 plus 2 and then we just press plus 5, the temporary value will be 3 plus 2, the 5, okay? And that's it. That's why we are using this thing. So let's call it temporary value or number or result. Temporary result. I guess it's okay. And we set it to 0. Okay. Now, here we return to the procedure and we're going to create a condition. So, and I will explain you what's happening with this thing. So let's drag here. You go over your variable and then you just place it over there and you say, you know, if your final result it's equals to 0, well, we're going to calculate here. We're going to set the temporary value and we're going to make an addition or the sum. So we're going to use temporary number plus what we could have in here in this label, this current labeled. So we're going to duplicate this one and that's it. So that means that when this thing, the final result is in 0, okay, so we can make this thing. Now we're going to set after this the label current result. After we take the current result value, we are going to reset this value to 0. Okay, and the current value, it will be like 0, and then we will set this almost final result to the temporary number that we have. So we're going to duplicate this one and we're going to change this to pre-result. Oh, sorry, just remove the 0 because we need this, the global temporary value. So now we have the first part in here. Then we need to add another condition. So we're going to set if, and we're going to remove this. If the label, the second label that we have, I mean, the pre-result, it's different from 0, so that it has a value. So we are going to set the global temporary number move this thing. We're going to set the global temporary number or result to the addition or the sum of temporary number plus not the current result, the pre-result, the one that it will be in here. And then we are going to do the same with label 1. We're going to set it to 0. And then we're going to set the other guy to temporary number, just as we did before. And then finally we insert another condition, just an else condition. And we're going to say if this is not like happening, not equals to 0, not equals to 0. So you set the global temporary number or result to the final result here. Duplicate. And then in the label 1, we are going to do the same thing. Duplicate this. And then the label 2, it will be here. Let's check the variables. The temporary, we're going to reset this temporary value to this one. Instead of having it here, let's pass it to the variable. And then here in this pre, let's set it to 0. 0, this one. Oh. And this is the temporary, the final result, sorry. Okay, now we're going to add this procedure to the buttons. Okay, so how to do that? Well, if you check, we have this one, the digit, and the button that it's going to hold the add procedure, it will be the plus symbol. We go for plus symbol and we have add button, and when we click this thing, so what if we just move these guys over here, and then we're going to use the events in here. We go to the procedures, and then we're going to add the add procedure when add. So now let's refresh the screen here. We try a number, a random number, just to refresh the screen, the variables and everything. We just wait a little bit. Then we have these numbers. So let's add, for example, 1, and we press this button, and it's going to run this procedure. What is going to happen right now? Check 1, and when I press this, it will check the condition. If the result, the final result equals to 0, well, in this moment it's equals to 0. So what is going to happen, that it's going to set this temporary result to the temporary result itself plus the current results. Okay, so the text that it's in here. So temporary, in this case, we have 0 in the temporary at the beginning, and then 0 plus the current result, that is this one, it's 1. And then it's going to clear this label, and it's going to set the value that it was in here, well, to here. Okay, so if we write 1 plus, that's it, set to 0, and then just the value for the other label, the upper label. Now you have 1, and then if I press again, it's going to happen another thing. Now the pre-result text, for example, plus 3, it's different from 0. Now it's 3. So the global temporary result, it will be now modify this plus this. So this value that it's the temporary, that it's in here, that it's 3 plus 1. Okay, so let's see what's going on. That's it. We have the 4, and then reset this to 0, and that's it. and we continue with this. 4. What about plus 1, plus 2, plus 5, plus 43, and that's it. We have 55. Now it's looking good. We need to add another procedure. The procedure is called the equals. Okay, when we press the equals button, we want to run another procedure. So we're going to create a procedure, we drag it, and we call it equals procedure. Really smart, right? And we're going to add another condition. Conditions are really important. The best thing is to read this code and try to understand what is happening. If this is true, well, do this. Else, also, okay, if this is true, make this option. And if any situations that are here are happening, but do this. Okay, basically that is the idea. Well, now we have the equals procedure, and we're going to go to logic, and we're going to insert in here, and we're going to use from text is empty. You have to check if the label 1, okay, I mean this label, that it's the pre-result. Let's just copy this thing, duplicate. If this thing is empty, okay, if this is empty now, if this thing is not empty, if this label is not empty, and we're going to add a double condition. If this thing it's not empty, and also we can make this thing, we're going to drag. If the list is not if this label is not empty, that it has a value over there, and the final result equals. We can add something because we're going to compare numbers, so it's better to use the blue one. In the first thing, it's because we're comparing like text, okay, so more than a value. And then this one, if the global final result equals to 0, well, you have to do this. You have to set the global, let's go here, set, insert it, global final result plus, let's destroy this, plus the temporary number that we have. Let's duplicate this temporary number that we have, plus the text that is in here. Then I want you, or well, we want the program to set the label, the second label. Let's call it the second label. It is current results, I guess, or it's pre-result. No, I made a mistake here. The temporary plus the current. And then we have the current. You know, I get confused with the numbers, the names, I mean. So let's see if we can change the names for the labels. So this is going to be rename, and let's rename this to temporary result, and this is like a final result. Yes, it's better for me, if not I get confused. So well, as I was telling you, the global final result here, we're going to set it, and we're going to set this value for the global result that is in here in this label, in the upper label, we're going to sum or add. We're going to add the temporary result that we have plus the text in the temporary label. Then we are going to set the final result label text to the global final result. Then we duplicate this one, and we're going to set the other label to an empty text. Then we're going to set the global temporary to the final result. And then we just, after we take this value from the global final result, we are going to reset this guy to 0. And that's it. So we have the equals procedure, and this procedure, it will be here in a button event. So we go for CLR button. We drag here the click event, and then we just go to procedures and equals procedure. It's not the CLR, sorry, it is equals, and that's it. So now let's see what we have now. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So final result over there. Plus, oh, now we have a mistake because it was empty in here. Okay, don't worry, it's like quite normal. Okay, because we need to protect the conditions over there. Okay. So, where were we? Now we are just like checking the thing. Well, I guess it's almost done. It's almost done. So we're going to use final result text. Let me check that everything is okay. 0, final result, temporary number, set global result to global, final result, temporary result, and this is equals to this thing, global final result, label 2. I guess we are almost done with the first part of this calculator. So let's refresh screen 6. We just wait a little bit for this thing to load. We drag 12 plus 2, 14. And then if I press again this, cannot accept the argument because I press again. Yes. Maybe because I add a mistake in here. Global temporary number. When we press the equals, is when we are having this or facing this problem. So if this thing is not, let's drag like temporary result. If the temporary result, the text that we have is not empty and the final result is 0, well, we are going to add another thing. Okay, so we are not having this button to erase, but don't worry. Let's refresh the screen. And then we just wait for this. Well, we have 2 plus 2 equals 4 plus 3, oh sorry, equals 7 plus 4, 11 plus empty string. It's not like accepting this value. So that's why. What if we just go final result? And let's check if we add a 0. We can have something. So 23 plus 135, and that's it. We avoid the mistake with this. Now we need to erase everything. Well, to erase everything, we're going to create another procedure. We go in here, we click here clean button procedure, and for the clean it's quite simple because we are going to use just a very simple procedure for this thing to clean everything, to clean the mess. So the first thing, it is just to set everything to 0. The two variables, the temporary to 0, and also for the other variable 0, 0, 0, and then for the labels as well. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to set it to 0, and then to the other one, the temporary to 0 or delete. This button, it will run in here. We look for the events. So we have equals add, and then we just go for CLR button. CLR. When we click this button, we're going to run a procedure. Clean button. Then we just check. Yes. So 4 plus 1, 5. 3 plus 4, 7 plus 8, 15, right? Excellent. So, and then we just erase everything. Now, just to finish this tutorial for today, okay, we're going to go to media, and then we just drag a sound. I just share with you a very simple sound. Then we just go to select here in source. Then you return to the blocks and just insert it here. So you go here, and then the sound will be, I have already the sound, but well, because we delete, right? Don't worry, we're going to remove this second sound. It is not necessary. Then we just go to the blocks, and then we are just going to insert here in the procedure. So we go for sound, and then we go, you know what? I want you to play this thing. And we can add it every time we press equals. We are going to listen to the sound, also for this button, and also for the CLR. So it's going to do that. Then I guess we are missing just when we add numbers, we want to play this thing also. Okay, so we have the add digit, and let's call this friend play, and we're going to play it in here. Then we just can check, and we have a click. That's it. Okay, then if we just make this, so there are many things that we now to check and work. Okay, so it is not like perfect, but if you understand these codes, okay, these blocks, okay, you will see that this thing helps you a lot to think more for App Inventor when you're making your own apps. So just to sum up everything, we have here the buttons, and we created a procedure to add a digit. Here when we click, we are adding a digit. So basically the idea is that we are using here the this procedure, add digit procedure, and we have the temporary result text, so the one that it's under. Okay, we are going to round to remove the 0 from the left, and we're going to join the current value. For example, this case is 3226. If I continue with another number, it's going to connect this current number that we have in here plus the digit that we have in any number. It has the digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it's going to connect it. So for example, 3, 2, 1, that's what it's doing, this thing. When we press play plus, well, here some conditions just to avoid problems while you are like writing lots of numbers. Now here for the equals procedure, it's quite simple. If this label is not empty and if this value is equals to 0, well, we want you to set this final result to the addition of the global temporary result plus the temporary result. Okay, and then we have the final result text. We're going to set it to this variable that we just calculated, and then we just reset the temporary results. Okay, these ones to 0, and the variables also. So the temporary result, it became this one, the temporary global final result. And basically that is the idea. And then the clean. So when you press the button C, okay, you are going to remove here, or you're going to set the variables to 0 and also the text to 0. Okay, so that's the idea. So check 2 plus 6 to 4, sorry, 6 plus and that's it. You have the result in here. Okay, well, I hope you like this tutorial. Okay, so if you're interested in on this tutorial, and if you want me to make the second part, please just let me know. Share, okay, with your friends. Share with someone who's learning App Inventor or Appybuilder or Thunkable. So what else? So you can try to make the subtraction thing. So I guess it's a good idea. Okay, it's pretty similar. And remember, conditions are everything in here. Okay, these are the ones that are helping you. Okay, well, my name is Eduardo. I hope you really like the tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That would help me a lot. Okay, subscribe. And also, if you have problems with this video or another of my videos, please, okay, send me a message. I try to check as much as possible my messages. So enjoy your day, night, afternoon, or any. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye.